Hello everybody, welcome to Coco's Crochet. I'm Litza and today's our podcast number 111. It's November the 21st, 2024 and welcome one and all. I just love Thursdays because we get to hang out together and it comes around so fast, which is awesome, but also a little bit scary because we're only about 6 weeks out, actually less, 5 weeks out for Christmas, and I cannot believe that. So let's get started and see what we've all been up to. Now I do have a little bit of life at the end, and I did also receive some happy mail today, but I thought that I would just do that in a separate video, so we'll look out for that one. It is going to be a fun one to watch as well. So the very first thing that I always love to start off with is showcasing your amazing makes. Now, you know, this is an opportunity for all of you to shine. And boy, do you shine. We are constantly oohing and ahhing over your amazing work. And I just wanted to say how much I appreciate that you all take the time to send something through to me via email. Please don't ever hesitate. If you ever feel that need, like, oh, I wonder if I should send it, please do. There is never going to be a time where I think, oh my goodness, there's one more. I always think, oh my goodness, there's one more, which is always fabulous. And I know that all of you really appreciate seeing everybody's work as well, because let's be real, we have a crochet to-do list that is never ending. So why not add one more thing to it, right guys? Now, as you know, I have my clipboard here and my marker, and I will try to actually focus on what I've written down because I don't want to miss out on anything. But like I said, let's get started with the best fun of all, showcasing your makes. And boy, do we have some gorgeous things to see today. So our friend Aussie Sandy, she has sent in a few little things which you will absolutely adore, because I certainly do. So here is her Dumbo elephant donut, because she's joined in the cow with Sally, and I'll talk about that very soon. I'll show you what I made for it as well. So Aussie Sandy tells us that she used Premier Basics yarn in dark grey for the donut base and icing, and she used a Mallee knitting yarn, which is an 8-ply, called Titanium Grey for the ears and the trunk. And the flowers she found in a box with odds and sods, so she had already made that little flower. I really need to work on my eyes on my amigurumi, and I must say, always ooh and ah over everybody's work. So thank you so much, Sandy, for sending him in. But that's not all, guys. Sandy continued to send in some of her makes that she's been working on for a while and has now finished, because she's got her Crojo back, which I absolutely love. So this is a linen stitch scrap blanket. So imagine the work that goes into that. I absolutely love the linen stitch, which I think is also known as the moss stitch. It is time consuming, but it has such a beautiful end result. Now look at all these fabulous colors in here. Now Sandy tells us that she used all the scrap yarn that she could find, and the border is a single crochet row followed by a slip stitch row. So I'm not sure how well you can see that, but what a great view of all the colors there, that little spot there, right? The way I've positioned it. Well done, Litza, for once. So that's that blanket. And then a lot of you might already be following, or at least, like, I'm a cheerleader for this one, or you might be actually participating in with our friend Nova at Nova Gnome Creations. And this is the mandala blanket that they're all making together. And this one, Sandy tells us that she's always wanted to make this. So when she got started, she just couldn't stop. So she's actually finished ahead of time. And she has used the Spot Saver yarn, the 10-ply yarn that we have here very readily available to us in Australia, and absolutely gorgeous color combination there. So thank you so very much, Sandy, for taking the time to send them in. And how wonderful that you've finished your crochet along with Nova. Well done. As I said, I would have loved to have joined in, which is exactly what I said to Nova too, but it's just time, unfortunately. But that is a blanket that I would love to make one day as well. Now our friend Lizzo is always busy with her amigurumi. And look at this gorgeous little thing here. So this is Rita the Fox. Look at her, she is adorable. And she is a free pattern on the Hobie website from the Pick-a-Pow range. Let's call it the Pick-a-Pow collection. Now the yarn that Lizzo used is Sadar Snuggly Baby in a bamboo and wool combination, 80% bamboo and 20% wool. And then she also used a yarn called Chance, which is a 50-50 acrylic cotton blend, and Peter Pan by Wendy, which I think is an acrylic yarn from memory, and a 3.5mm clover hook. Now, let me step back a little bit so you can see that Rita is enjoying a nice day at the park. It looks like she's just come down the slippery slide and she's landed on her feet there. Absolutely gorgeous. Thank you, Liza, for sending in Rita. She is adorable. Now, our friend Pearl has been very busy finishing a couple of amazing blankets for her daughters for Christmas. Let me just cross my legs over so I can get in a bit closer. Now, the first one is the peppermint tree blanket, and this is the booklet that she book to get the pattern from. And let me show you her beautiful blanket. Oh my goodness. So it's all those little peppermint, lollies, and it makes the shape of the tree. I love the border. And also, she's finished this one here, which is the Christmas wreath blanket. And she does say, which made me laugh, she said, there are so many squares, so many ends, but it was so worth it. Absolutely. And Pearl used big twist twinkle yarn from Joann's and a 5.5mm hook. Now, Pearl also made a few other little beanies that were requested by her grandchildren. So this little pumpkin beanie here, which is absolutely adorable, was requested by her 7-year-old grandson. Keep his little head warm, because up in the northern hemisphere it's autumn now and winter is fast approaching. And then she made this snowman one here, which is for her older grandson, so the youngest one's brother. I think from memory he's about 14 years old and 6 foot plus tall, because she had made him a snowman scarf, and this will match that. How adorable is he? I love his little smile or smirk. And then last but not least, Pearl leaves us with what she feels, and I absolutely love this because I think this relates to most of us, if not all of us. Pearl says, creating for my family and friends gives my heart such joy, and I will continue to do so for as long as I can. I just absolutely love that, and I'm sure your family and friends do too, Pearl. And then our friend Kim, she has been busy knitting some socks because it is cold in her part of the world as well. Now, I am yet to make socks, guys, as we all know. I would love to crochet a pair, and one day the time will come. They are so pretty. And she also made this, and that was Kim used Rico, R-I-C-O yarn to make those. And look at this gorgeous little gnome here. Look at his hat. Very Halloween or fall themed. So there he is there with his big bulbous nose, and this one was made using Toft yarn. Very cute indeed. So thank you everyone for sending them through to us. That was a lot of fun seeing what you've all been up to. Just keep them coming, as we said. Now, the next thing that I would like to talk to you about is what I've been making. And I have been busy in the background. Although there are never enough hours in the day, I find, even though I crochet half an hour before work in my car every day, and most days I balance it between walking and crocheting, but lately I've been crocheting because there's so much to do. But anyway, let's get back to the make, which is more important. So our friends, and they're wonderful. If you have not hung out with these amazing women that I'm going to talk to you about right now, please do so, because I have discovered new friendships through this cowl, and I just want to thank each and every one of them for inviting us along to join in the Nautical November cowl for 2024. Now, this is hosted by our friends. Let me just get their names for you, although I do know them very well. I do not want to make a mistake. So it's Cassandra over at I've got it here, me and my notes. Cassandra over at Craftably Ever After, Pamela at Ginger Cat Crochet, and Lee from Lee Mac. Now, as I said, thanks to this cowl, I've discovered 2 new friends. We all know, or if you've been with me for a while, I've been friends with Cassandra for a couple of years now. But thanks to her, it's always the way, isn't it? Someone introduces us to someone and then we all become lifelong friends. How wonderful is that? And what I've discovered is that Lee from Lee Mac is also a fellow Aussie. So that is pretty cool too, right? So, what did I make for this cowl this week? I don't know if I'll be making one next week, but this all started, and I'm going to say that Thea made me do it. So when I showcased, or showed you my haul of the gorgeous blanket yarn that I purchased a week or so ago, and then some other acrylic yarn as well, this was in there, and I said, oh, I think this would make a nice border on a baby blanket or something, because there was only one bag of mill ends, and each mill end bag is only 400 grams. And Thea said in the comments, I think it would it would make a great mermaid. And instantly I thought, Nautical November cowl, I've always wanted to make a mermaid. So then I started to look for a free pattern. There are a lot of paid patterns which are really pretty, but I just thought, let me see if I can find a free one. And I did. I found one on the Premier website. They actually have about 3 different ones, and it's this one here. So it's called the Parfait Chunky Mermaids. And of course I went for the chunkier style because I wanted to use my blanket yarn. So I thought it'd be great, instead of trying to find a little pattern, converting it, or if it's a big mermaid and using blanket yarn, it'd be a huge one, life size. I did not have time for that. So I dove into my blanket yarn, and I used this one for her tail, and I'll show you her in a moment. And then I thought, oh, I wasn't sure what color to use for the rest of her, but I just went for this creamy color, and then I used some of this for the accents. So far we have these that go together. And then when I show you her, this is my favorite part. I was inspired by the seaweed to make her hair. I absolutely love these colors together. And I did use the 8mm hook that I had in a kit of recently, the one that I made the seahorse with. So I did use that hook, and it worked very well. Now let me show her to you. Now please, no judgments. The face needs work. I've taken off a smile that I had put on, and it's just still not right. I think I did something wrong with the eyes, but that was my attempt to embroider them on. But let me start off with her hair. I've actually got beads in her hair as well, which brings me to the beads. One sec before I turn her around. Just one moment. I went and purchased these beads from Kmart, this gorgeous set here. These are actually spaces for jewelry. So ever since I made the shawl for Yarn of the Month, I discovered that these are awesome to work with when you're using any type of yarn, but it was too thick for the blanket yarn. So I was able to sew some on her fin or her tail. I'll show you that, because I wanted to make her necklace and have it through her hair. But then I remembered I've got my pony beads, which I used to make those fidget spinners that I sent off to Rose last year. So I had these in my little collection here, so I was able to put those in her hair and also her necklace. So let me just turn her around for you. So yeah, there's the beads in her hair. Absolutely love popping them through. Some you can't really see very well, but look at that hair, guys. I actually threaded the hair straight onto her head. So it was almost like, if any of you have ever had your hair streaked, that's what it looked like when I was doing it. Anyway, let me just show you what she looks like from the front, and then I'll bring her up nice and close. Now, the face needs a lot of work, I know, but there's her matching beads to her fin or her tail, and she's got her little bikini top on. Oops, all this hair, you can't even see the bikini top, but there it is there, hiding under there. And her little arms, I wanted to put something around her arms or make little fingers, but I didn't quite manage that. And then on her fins or her tail, the little beads that I put on there. So overall, I am very happy with her. I'm so glad that I got to participate. She is my first mermaid, and I just wish that I had maybe glued on some eyes or put in safety eyes, but she almost reminds me of a voodoo doll. That's just terrible. But other than the face, I think she turned out really sweet. I like that little edging there that you create from crocheting in the front loop only. It is you do sew this on the fins and just the arms, although you could have actually crocheted the arms in, and I didn't do the head separately. I actually continued to crochet. So she's my little mermaid for the Nautical November cowl. I absolutely love her. Her hair is just my favorite part of all. And I was just happy that I actually made her, like I said, because I have been wanting to make a mermaid for 2 years. So this is the start. I now have an idea how easy it is to make them. So hopefully I'll get better with the faces and I'll be able to create a nicer one or a prettier one in the future. But anyway, that's my little, entry to that cowl, and I'm so happy that I was able to finish her. She didn't take very long at all, actually. Now, the other thing that I worked on this week and I did finish was, of course, the donut for our friend Sally over at Nanny Moon's Crochet. Now, Sally works through this book here, Crochet Donut Buddies, which I know a lot of you do as well, including Aussie Sandy. She had the elephant from last week, and this week Sally pulled out the little snail. So this little snail here, in actual fact, I do have it tagged here. Now, this was a very quick and easy one to make, I have to say. It is rated only as a number 1 for difficulty, which it absolutely was. Now, what Sally does, she has a great big bag that she made herself with a drawstring, and she pulls out a donut each week, and we have the opportunity to make it. I don't actually have the time every week, but I just love joining in because I absolutely love Sally. So this week, Sally, I was able to make it, and I will send you a photo. Now, I use my 4mm hook for all of them, which is what is recommended in the book, and you do use your worsted weight or 10-ply yarn. So I predominantly use my sticky notes everywhere, my Spot Saver 10-ply yarn, which is 100% acrylic, and this time round I also used a mill end that I've purchased about a year ago, which is pretty much the same yarn, which is awesome. The thing that I did different was I put little butterfly buttons on instead of flowers, and I have decided that I'm going to do one more tweak. So I want to glue in there so I can bring the face facing forward. That's what I want to do now that I've looked at it more, like, you know, properly. But she doesn't have a mouth as usual. She's got the goggly eyes, and little butterflies have landed on her. But there she is. I finished my little donut, and she is donut, for me, donut number 11. So now I have 11 little donuts in my collection for some little people to maybe play with one day for counting and things like that. They're not going to little people. They'll be 5+, so I don't have any concerns about any bits that are glued on. But as I said, I really want to twist that around a bit and glue it on there. So when you've got the donut sitting down, it actually faces you. Otherwise, at the moment, you've got to twist it to the side so you can actually see the face. So that was great that I could actually join in, because it's been a couple of weeks and I just really want to see how many of these donuts I can make. But I just fell in love with the little snail when Sally pulled it out. So that one is done and dusted for the week, which is great. Now, the other thing that I worked on and I finished, and it's been washed, but I've realized that there's one tail to sew in, is the C2C rectangle blanket made out of blanket yarn that I've been crocheting for the granny flat to add a splash of color as per my daughter-in-law's request. So I did use, let me show you the blanket and you'll see the color. So she wanted this beautiful charcoal color here. So it is a rectangle, this shape here, this one here. And it's just a very simple corner to corner blanket. You know how much I love making those. That's the style that she wanted as well. And I did use my 8mm hook for that one, because even though I could probably go to a 9 or a 10 even, she likes the stitches quite tight together. I did use 4 bags of mill ends minus almost maybe 50 grams. Reason being, when it's a square, I know exactly where to stop with the bags, but with this one I was a bit more cautious because of the rectangle shape. I didn't want to run out of the yarn because I didn't have any more of that color. But it did turn out very, very nicely. It smells delicious because I've washed it and I've soaked it in beautiful fabric softener. But I do have that little tiny tail to sew in. Other than that, it's finished and I can deliver it to them more than likely tonight, because when I finish from here, I'll just sew in that end and pop it down there. So now they've got the goldy mustard color blanket. This one finished, the 2 cushions. And now I need to work on the blanket that started this journey. So the first one will be finished last, which is this beautiful blanket here. I love this beautiful color here. It's like a chocolate brown. And this is quite simply a blanket that's worked in like a half double crochet in the back stitch for the whole thing. And I am using an 18mm hook to go with this gorgeous respun yarn from Lion brand. Now I will give you more detail. Look how thick that is. It's absolutely gorgeous. I will give you more details on that when I'm actually finished, but I just thought it was very, very funny that the first blanket that started this off is the last blanket that I'm going to work on. But that's okay, that will get done too. It's getting quite warm here, so even though the aircon is on now, it is a little bit warm, so I'll only be able to work on that when it's actually, you know, very, very early in the morning or the aircon on. But it'll get done, of course. Now, the other thing I want to let you know is that the voting for the Crochet Society box number 51 ended yesterday. So I am going to be tallying up everybody's votes. Thank you so much for everyone that voted, and I will start making the winning project. So I'm hoping to bring that to you as soon as possible. And you know what, with this being almost the end of November, I really need to finish, because then I'll be starting every week to bring you the Hobie advent calendar each week. So that's going to be keeping me busy as well, guys. Now, so that's that one there. Now, the other thing that so through the week, you know, I caught up with you a few more times, but since our last podcast, we did have the voting, the finalized, the last video for the 1970s, which I showed you, you know, who made what, which number corresponded with which person, and who actually won the vote. So if you haven't already seen that video, go and see it. It is a fun one. And also, if you haven't been following along that crochet along, the hashtag crochet through the decades cal 2024, there is a playlist there for you. But I will show you, just in case you haven't been following along, my 1970s make was this bikini here. It was just sitting there, so I thought I might as well show you. That's the front of the bikini, and that's the bikini bottom there. Now, in the 70s, I used to actually wear crocheted bikinis. Now, I don't think so. Let's leave it to the young ones. So that's that, guys. So now, November is the 1980s. Some of you have already sent in your makes, so thank you very much. I have finally decided what I'm going to make. I don't think I'm going to change my mind again. So I need to get started on mine as well, because we need to have all the entries in by the 30th of November. Yes, the last day of November, midnight Sydney, Australia time, and then I will showcase them all. We'll do a little vote, and then we're done with this cal. That is so awesome, right? Where did those 4 months go? It's just crazy. Now, the other time that I also caught up with you, and it was an opportunity to look through a beautiful book that I purchased recently. I was so happy to share this book with you here. So if you love plants, house plants, this is a great book. And even if you just want to have this, you know, while you're having a cup of tea, while you're crocheting, or a cup of coffee, and you want to look through this book, I absolutely and highly recommend it. I'm in love with all of it, and I wish I had the time to just sit down for a week and make them all. So now I'm actually, when I'm shopping, I'm looking for green yarns, and really nice pots to, you know, the pot plants, so that, you know, that are on sale, that are a certain size, because in there it talks to you about the sizes of the pots that you need as well, or you can crochet them if you wish to. So that was a good one. Now, the other thing that I spoke to you about during the week was I did a kit review, the Nitty Critters kit review for this little seahorse. So you might remember him from last week, and he's absolutely gorgeous. Oh, now they're friends. They can hang out together, these two. Oh, my goodness. So if you're interested in the kit that I used to make him, and you haven't already seen it, that video was something I shared with you this week as well. And then what is upcoming, guys? Oh, and I also put out the yarn of the month video if you missed it, showcasing the marshmallow pies yarn. It was actually a lot of fun to work with. Now, upcoming this Sunday, I'm hoping to bring you the next episode in knitting machine makes. So that will be a lot of fun as always, because you know that is a very different way for me to use yarn, and I am absolutely loving it, and I have something to bring you which I hope that you enjoy as well. So let's see, I think that is it, guys. So just a little bit of life has been wonderful. I would like to report that my goddaughter and her little baby girl are home. They were in hospital for 5 days, nothing bad, just 5 days, and they got home a couple of days ago. They are settling into you know, their home, their family life. Things are very different. The dogs, because they do have 2 dogs, they have accepted that this baby is part of the family now, my goddaughter tells me, and all is well in the world. So they're slowly getting into a little routine. Now, I don't know about the rest of the world, but here in, you know, like where we live, it's quite important that we're vaccinated for the whooping cough if we want to visit the baby before they have their vaccinations, which is around 6 weeks old. So, you know, that's, you know, a very personal decision for everyone. So, you know, I can't jump in and see her right away. You know, there are things that have to take place beforehand. But I am itching to see her. I cannot wait. But I do have photos and she is adorable. Now, and the other thing that is, you know, lovely for our family is that we'll be celebrating my daughter-in-law's birthday this weekend. So she will be now the same age as my son, 27. Oh my goodness, they're my babies. I cannot believe it. So that's pretty much it, guys. The countdown is on at work. This was week 6, so we have 7, 8, 9, 10, 4 weeks to go before the big school holidays, which is our summer break here in Sydney, Australia. You know, for the Southern Hemisphere, Northern Hemisphere, you have very different times, obviously, because your summer is at a different time to us. And you know, 4 weeks is going to fly, but it's also dragging on because it is the end of the year. So much is going on, and it is getting quite warm, in actual fact hot, but that's okay. Summer is approaching. And that's it, guys. That is it in a nutshell. I have had a lovely week. I have been catching up with so many different YouTubers, discovering new friends, visiting old friends. You know, there is so much out there that I want to absorb it all and hang out with everyone. I love all the emails I'll be getting from everyone, and I absolutely love reading all your comments and responding. And you know what? That's what just keeps me very busy and full of joy. So thank you for making that possible for me. I cannot express how much I appreciate your company, and I hope that you feel the same. So until I see you all very, very soon, take care, everyone. Bye-bye for now.